I'm Michele Traina, your host, and today we are discussing all things Beggarman, the upcoming hit feature film.
Top of the morning, Beggar Man.
Why do they call you Beggar Man out there on the street? Just because I was doping. You know, you're a young guy. It's my nickname. Let me give you a little handout.
Excuse me, sir. $1 something? I hate this place. These people won't even give you $1 to save your life.
Oh, get your hands off me!
What are you doing?
It's a suitcase, man. Come over here, help me out.
I am here with Lenny Thomas, the star of Beggar Man and producer, and of course the writer, director, and producer, Frankie Montero of Beggar Man. Hi, guys.
Hey.
I'm so excited.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming, and we're going to talk about this amazing film. Okay, let me just tell you, it touched my soul in so many ways. I'm serious. It's a really great film. Beggar Man is really about what we're dealing with in our society today, right? Like kind of ignoring what's happening with vets, with love and acceptance, right? And I love the tag, more money, more problems.
Yep.
Kind of just came to us.
Yeah, it does. So tell me, what was it like creating the film before it went to set? What was the process like? Yeah, you the writer. Take us inside your writings. What's your writing process? Early in the morning or late at night?
Early in the morning.
Okay. Yes.
He's an early bird, yeah?
Yeah.
5 a.m. Writers Club?
No, not that early, but 8 a.m. Writers Club. But no, you know what was funny with this movie? Some of it was written at night and to the score of Bernard Herrmann's score from Taxi Driver. And I just put that on. I was listening for hours, and I just kind of started seeing this character in this leather jacket, and you know that started coming about. Some of those late night lonely scenes with Beggar Man. That's where those came from.
Yeah.
And the way it's kind of like you know, playing with action figures, you know, when you just start like, you know, hearing the voices a little bit, or you start creating them, and as actors we improvise and stuff, and so that's where it started from, just like observing a lot of homeless veterans and homeless people in general in New York City, and then putting on some, I like to put on old scores of movies and just listen, and then
Music gets the inspiration going.
Yeah.
So there is the homeless community in New York specifically is getting to a point where we would love to see a change in it, right? And
yeah,
Lenny,
absolutely.
Right. Like you played Anthony Beggarman. Mm-hmm. What was it like, and what was it, you know, how did you get into the character and make your vision come to life, Frankie?
I'm born and raised in New York City, so I've been surrounded with New York's homeless problem since I was born.
Right.
And the best thing about this career of ours, like we're supposed to observe and then reflect, right? So, I mean, I would watch just how do people live on the street, right? And then, seriously, once you get in the costume, it's a wrap. It forced me to tap into desperation and put myself in their shoes, which, my gosh. Yeah.
The subway scene, when you guys see the show, the show of all time, when you see Beggar Man, okay, there's a subway scene, and let me tell you something, I was like, do I do that in the subway? Because it is a thing. We tend to turn our eyes away from a homeless person that may need something, or may not even be begging or asking for anything. But we have this, there's a lot of people that just have this nasty look. So I felt like, do I do that guilt trip? But now also, I thought of when at the night scene, I thought of the financial district during the day, because I've been down there, and it is, you would think like right by the Brooklyn Bridge, it's really bad.
It's really bad, yeah.
Your movie made me think of like, gosh, what are we doing about that?
Seriously.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing.
So we're to connect a little bit into New York City. To what part of New York are you originally from?
Jamaica, Queens.
Queens.
Yeah, Queens get the money, baby.
Yeah, yes. More money, more problems.
Oh, exactly. Look what happens when we got the money.
So talk to us about the plot. So Beggarman becomes upon a large sum of money. Talk to us
Right.
a little bit about what starts to become the theme and how we really identify his character. What was that process for you like?
Well, I guess I spent a lot of time walking around the streets of New York, right, and by myself, and I would just observe and think about. There's all these different places and all these different times in history in New York where a lot of money was going around, you know, especially from crime, you know, going back to the 1900s, you know, up until the 80s and the crack epidemic, you know, there was garbage bags of money going around. I read a lot of articles about that. So my imagination just wandered, and I was going past this, one of the railroad stations in Hell's Kitchen. You know, if you look down, there's just like suitcases and junk and all this stuff just thrown about. And I saw some homeless people running around there, and I just thought, what if they discovered a bag or a suitcase full of money, you know, and you're homeless, and then what happens? What happens when?
Yeah, we have nowhere to go, and all of a sudden you have all this money.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, that's a good, like, I started thinking about myself when there's a scene where he has the money and then they get into a fight with the friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, tell us a little bit about what it was like working with Peter Green.
Peter's a trip. He
Yeah.
is such a powerful actor, right? And he's a clown because he likes to test everybody. Oh my gosh! But somehow, like, his chaos brings out the best in everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked. Somehow it worked. Like, I don't seriously. He's so New York also, right?
Yeah.
And the film is very chaotic, right? It takes a very, like, I feel like his performance grounded the film in a way, right? Outside of what's happening with Anthony.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I feel like, well, you know, I think Lenny and I, like our generation, like, we grew up watching Peter Green.
Oh man.
So, you know, as a kid in the 90s, I could tell you he was terrifying. And,
Yeah, it was.
That's what I was thinking, especially with the fight. I was like, all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, but when I met him, he was a class act, and he said, you know, he greeted me like Mr. Montero, and he wanted to sit down and talk about the script. I thought he'd be interesting as an Italian gangster. You never really see his complexion.
Right.
You know, you see someone like me. You don't, you know, I think about Joey Gallo from the 60s, you know, and he kind of had your complexion.
Right.
And, you
I'm
know,
Italian.
there you go.
See? We come in all different shades. Sicilians are all, okay. Anyway.
100%.
We are. It's true.
But they don't
This is not
cast
real
like
blonde,
that.
just so you know. But
Right.
yes, they don't. You're right. But
Yeah.
they are. It does, usually
Yeah.
not. Like, I would usually get,
They need to have an olive complexion. You know,
Yes.
we want to kind of break some of these industry standards in casting. I think they need to, you know, look past that. So that's basically where it came from. I just thought he'd be so interesting. You never really saw Peter Green play an Italian gangster, you know, so...
And I really love this. It's kind of like when you meet your hero almost, right? And you're working with like a legend like that. You're like, oh my gosh, this is real. And they're working on my film together.
Yeah.
So it must have been a huge like.
Yeah, it was surreal. Not gonna lie.
exciting,
Because
surreal
seriously, the first thing I saw him in was The Mask, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even though he terrified the hell out of me, like, his performance was so. It pulls you in, and we got him to do that for us.
He definitely pulls you
Yes,
in. This
he
is a
pulls you in.
must see. So let's talk a little bit about the loves. I mean, as a woman, and I'm watching this lady. Okay, talk to us about the love story and how that developed, Anthony Beggarman's character, and why this is not only a good movie to watch it, you know, with your, you know, depending on how old your kids are, you can watch it with your family, your friends, but also a date night movie. Okay, talk to us a little bit about the love
wow, I
story.
didn't hear that.
I was interested. I was
love that.
involved in it.
What's awesome is, like, the way the movie moves. Like, it comes out of nowhere, but it's a point of, like, you get a chance to breathe for a second, right? And you start seeing the sparks fly. I mean, it's two desperate people at their lowest points, and it's the human connect, like how badly we need each other.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, what'd you call it? For Beggarman being homeless for 10 years, he needed people. His family wasn't there. His circumstance kept that from happening. She needed this person that, you know, I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, we don't want to give it away,
Yeah.
but like, I'll tell you, ladies, I was hooked from the beginning, and I was like, wait, what's going to happen just from the opening? See, okay, so it is, and also I think a big theme of the movie is desperation and connection,
Yes.
right? And then we talk about the bigger themes. So let's talk a little bit about veterans, right? This is a big theme in the show, right? Because Anthony Beggarman is a vet. And now, did he fight? He fought in
Iraq,
right?
Yeah.
So obviously this is connected. So, and it wasn't like he just decided to become homeless. A whole trickle of events happened, right?
And if you think about that, during that war, that's like right before things crashed, right? And that was another giant. Like he went and served, came back home, the housing crisis, right? And that's when everything went nuts for him, essentially, right? Around the time something else happens, I don't want to tell in the story.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how easy it is to fall from grace, right?
Yeah.
And also, we touched on it a little bit, how much him serving affected him. Like, he lost people,
Right.
and like we can't take that for granted when these veterans come back. Like, they need our help so bad. I have a brother who's an ex-Navy SEAL. I talk about him all the time. He needs it. He needs that help. I literally just stole things that I knew from my brother and put it into the performance, honestly. Like, you see a lot of my brother Johnny in this story. It's
listen,
amazing.
Anthony's brother Johnny, this is gonna be great because you're gonna have a lot of ladies hitting you up. He's a Navy SEAL. Sorry, he's not married. He's married, didn't forget it. But okay, so speaking of all these amazing things in the movie, what was your vision as director with the cinematography, and how did you make your vision come to life in the editing process? And were you up till like 3 a.m., like concerned it wouldn't come out correct? As a filmmaker, I know that happens with us, right?
He's always up till 3 a.m.
Well, you're always up.
Just to make sure it's good. Just to make sure it's good. Just to make sure.
How many drafts did you go through of Beggar Man?
We went through quite a few, actually. We had the original title was Vagrant Drifter back in 2022. So I went through a couple drafts, maybe like 3, and the producers and I, we went over everything and we made some tweaks and stuff like that. But the look of it, I really wanted a mix of 70s and some early 90s. I think that I showed the DP, Michael Lyons, I showed him a big array of all different movies, pretty much, from different times. It could be a movie not even about anything to do with Beggar Man, but I wanted a certain lighting, for this scene. Is like, just do it like that. So he was really good at seeing that and knowing, okay, I know what lights I need for this. I'm not a technical filmmaker. I'm someone who's I'm a visualist, so I don't know all the technicals, but I know how I want it and how I want it lit or when I want it to cut. So
that's important.
Maybe a little dyslexic, I don't know.
No, the lighting is important. That adds to the effect of everything in the film. I love it.
Yeah.
And okay, so speaking of production wise, what are some behind the scenes? Do you have any juicy stories? Was there any showmances? Was there any real
I hope
life?
not.
Oh.
I hope not.
Well,
Was there any?
I hope not.
You were on the clock, then. You was on my set.
Well, I think one of the funny stories was we were on the subway and we were shooting the scene you were talking about. There's 2 girls and they're kind of talking about Beggar Man, and we were shooting that during the day. But a lot of those shots, we were getting while we were going through the tunnel. So we hit a period where we're above ground in Queens, on the L train. So, it was very bright out. It's 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. We were shooting around commuters. And our whole crew actually, we needed to get the shot like within 20 minutes. Everybody took their jackets off and they covered up the windows. We had about maybe a 13, 14 person crew. So we were able to, we had a lot of hands and literally everyone just holding their jackets, while they were doing the scene. And
they were begging for no light. Beggar Man production crew is getting some kind of award for that. That is amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the funny ones. Yeah. And
oh man, my favorite one. What'd you call? There was a homeless guy when we were shooting at some of the last scenes. There was a homeless guy who started throwing rocks at us from up top. Where at the very end of the scene, where we're in this big park that's in the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
And we were moving our stuff because I'm like, all right, this he might be, mental health stuff. And there was a lot of people doing drugs in that area. It was crazy. It was a lot of.
We were stepping over needles to get to the location.
To get to the location, it was crazy.
Well, do you remember what happened with the suitcase?
Oh yeah, exactly. So what you call it? This guy's throwing rocks. We start moving our stuff like this guy's maniac. Let's get out of here. And as we're moving, I grabbed the suitcase full of the money, and it wasn't closed, and I dropped $500,000 of those bills on the floor in front of and he was laughing his ass off. I was literally.
I mean, I feel like you could have had another movie from the.
Exactly. No, exactly. My
You're
heart
jumping
dropped off.
over needles in Queen.
Another guy came and started yelling.
I was like, it's fake money. Is he gonna come down here?
I was
They thought it was
Say,
real.
like,
Yeah, so one of the guys started yelling, so we were like, grab the money right now.
Myself to have
'cause-
to listen, do not come from my people. I don't care what your situation is. I'm a bear over here, right? But he started laughing, I started laughing, and then he stopped being a maniac to us.
Yeah.
And it was love all of a sudden. I was like, that's great. So
But he was
money
throwing
does give happiness.
So that's I also feel like I'm a big signs person. I feel like that was a good omen for their movie because your movie is about. Obviously, we talked a lot of the themes, but it's about a character who's homeless, right, and also misunderstood to a degree. And this person who thought, oh, they might have it. There was a moment of connection, and I think a lot of the storyline here is about that connection and feeling like I'm human. You know, there's a humane element that we're missing a lot, I think, in our society sometimes, and I think that your movie brings that out. There's a lot of thoughts I started thinking about just watching Beggar Man's struggles and feeling like, do I do that? You know, and also how, you know, Peter Green's character, how he helps him and goes out of his way, but also bringing back to that, like, who do you trust? Who can you trust? And
I was just gonna say that, because it's also the different relationships in the movie explore what you're saying. You know, the humane and I guess the decency in people. You know, we explore those themes too, the way people interact with each other, and they form a bond. Peter Green's character, Vinny, and Beggar Man.
Yeah.
You know, so that's I mean, and you know, and you know, I think that New York City is also just a huge character in the movie as well, and his relationship with the city.
New York City is a huge character. Let's talk about film. Like, okay, so we're talking a little bit behind the scenes. It's about being in New York, and I feel like when you're watching the movie, you feel like the tension that the city brings to this story, right? Did you have, okay, so how was it like creating this before you started filming? Did you have to get a bunch of permits? I mean, New York is hard.
We as many permits as we can get.
Did you hold up a sign and say, if you're on camera, you're in the show?
I wish that was the case, you know what I'm saying? For everything else, we know a guy, so, you know.
I think our producers were standing by with you know, like release forms.
Yeah.
You know, anyone that was walking in the shop. But no, you know, we had permits for everything except for the subways, you know, and basically you have to do what you got to do. You got to steal the shots, you know.
Yeah. That's New York City film.
He's on what I'm saying.
You know, they really make it a pain, like even to the film on the tripod and stuff like that, you know, and but I wanted it on the tripod, and basically, but you know,
the shot, so you know they can't be mad at us now.
We can always say New York City is a big character in the film, and I feel like you know, it's the location, but it's a big component of what this character is going through, and it captures it beautifully. The gritty, nitty grind of New York and how it serves as a home for not only Anthony, for a lot of the characters.
Yeah, and what you're saying, I mean, it's showcasing New York now, and a lot of people tried to shun that, and a lot of people try to cover that up, and you know, they think it's exaggerated and stuff, and that's all we really tried to do was just tell a story also about this time. You know, I want people to look back in 20, 30 years and say, well, that was New York in 2023 or the 2020s, you know? When you see the people in the background behind him, those are all real people. That is New York in 2023. That is what was going on in that time.
So open your eyes in Beggar Man, because what you see is what you're really going to get, a real taste of humanity and acceptance, and I do think there's a lot of love in the film too. So.
Oh,
there is
definitely. There's a lot.
There is. Yeah.
All right. So wait, what is your hope for this? This is gonna be big. We're talking like you're gonna be on billboards. So what is your hope for Beggar Man once it's released? What's your big dream wish list?
I hope people love it.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Because from there, you know, limits the sky.
That's right.
I want people to be affected. I'm coming for tears. All right.
You better be crying. Yeah. I was, okay?
Right? I will come find you if you don't cry in my movie. No, that's
I was
great.
in a fetal position for quite some time, in a good way.
Oh,
but
man.
yes, tears in a good way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's wild. I've seen it a billion times already, and there are certain parts that still choke me up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I know this is coming. What's happening? It pulls it from you. So
Yeah.
I want that. I want that from everybody.
Because people can relate to it. People have seen what the Beggar Man is going through, whether they're the Beggar Man or they're another patron.
And that's so important. Seeing yourself in, like,
Those
hopefully.
characters.
I mean, it's even said, you know, I think the biggest thing that besides obviously being homeless that they're dealing with is like they feel invisible. You know what I mean? And forgotten about.
Yeah.
So, and that is one of
Big
the worst
line
things
movie.
a human can experience. And it can be
100%.
worse than death, from what I've heard and felt from the loneliness I felt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and I hope this also taps people back into the humanity, and because we need each other. Facts.
Yeah, I think my my hopes for the film would be that that it makes its money back. I think, I mean, you know, I'm being real. I think I'm going to tell you the three real things. That I want this poster to be on a young filmmaker's wall maybe one day, and it gives them inspiration to do a film, and I'd like to be able to do a sequel one day.
I love that. Beggar Man 2. Stay tuned for more. I'm Michele Traina here with the amazing Lenny Thomas and Frankie Montero. You have got to put on your calendars. What's the release date?
September 5th.
Put on your calendars September 5th. Put an alarm, put 3 alarms, put it on your refrigerator. In fact, let's spray paint it everywhere in your city. Just kidding. Or we can. I'll hold up a sign in Times Square. Beggar Man is going to be on Prime, Fandango. It's going to be in my living room. I'm just going to be playing it all the time. We got Frankie Montero, Lenny Thomas. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Don't forget to pre-order Beggar Man on Fandango August 22nd. And you can also get it on Prime September 5th and all video on demand.